Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's Shino. We're back in All the Mods 10 to the Sky. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing good. Everything is going swimmingly over here. So we're getting lots of our Inferium essence coming in, and that's all being crafted all the way up, which we're got to see. There it goes. Just saw it. Just got another Insanium essence being created and being put into our inventory system, which is cool. So we can look up there now. 199 Insanium essence. That's cool. And just as a reminder, that is, I'm going to fly. Boop. That is being fueled by this system right here. And we do have the Supremium Hoe, and that's all the stuff that we set up in the last episode. I've not done anything else with this. I still need to go through and make, you know, the hose, and I want to set these up the same way I've got this done. Right. So yeah, that's coming up here pretty soon. I've been doing a little bit of decorating here. I'm kind of working my way into a thought process, an idea in my head of the way I want to do this. So I'm working on that. I'm thinking we're going to end up putting some animal pens over here. I'm not going to do a ton of animals, but I would like to have, you know, a few sheep, a few pigs, a few starbuckles, and where is my, there he is, and my Drigme. I'd like to get all that kind of set up and moved out of here. So I'm thinking about putting like a stable over here and creating an area for that. And then we can put in another building over on this side. So this will end up being like a courtyard area for our new build. Over here at the mob farm, pop down into here and turn that back off. This is going really good. I'm not doing a whole lot of AFK time right now. But I am coming over here because I want to make sure I've got this all set up the way I want it. And the reason I'm being very cautious about this is a supercharged farm. So we're just got one tier going right now. We're going to be putting another tier up there. But this thing is supercharged. So if I were to let this thing run unsupervised, yeah, it would fill everything up. If there was a problem, it would put a lot of entities into the world in a very, very short period of time. It could cause some problems. So I want to make sure that I've worked out all the bugs before we do anything else on this. One more thing we need to talk about here. There is the ability to do claim chunks, and I've not done that yet. And as per usual, one of the things that Shino is very good at doing is not building on chunk borders. So yeah, he spreads stuff out over a whole bunch of chunks, but I do want to go ahead and kind of link some of this stuff together to give myself some activity. So if you don't understand how chunks work in Minecraft, there is a chunk that is loaded. That's the one you're in. And then there's several chunks around it that stay loaded, you know, all the time. But once you move outside that area, like if I were over here, these chunks would stop working. When they don't load, nothing happens. And this is an automated system. So I don't want this area to not work while I'm gone. Same thing here for the farms. I want those farms to be running while I'm gone. So we need to claim those chunks. And I think if we hold shift, or is it control? There we go. We hold the shift key and we click on it again. We can force load those chunks. So we've claimed the chunks, which means, you know, nobody else can build in them. Of course, I'm in a single world by myself. Don't have to worry about that. But now that I have force load, you can only have 25 total force loaded. That's why it's kind of important to build on a chunk border. Not have to put it over multiple. But we've got 25 chunks loaded here. We've got that all added now. So if we were to go, say, into the nether, or we were to go into the end, well, these chunks are now still going to run here in this world, which I think is kind of important for us to do that. Cool. So what are we going to do in this episode? Hey, we are going to do it. I've been promising it. It's time. AE2. We're going to get AE2 set up. We're going to get the starting of automated crafting set up right here. So let's get after it. So with the addition of chapter 2 and all of that, you know, we did go through and collect a whole bunch of these quest rewards that were there, kind of, you know, to see, hey, did we get anything good? You know, that kind of stuff. Didn't really get anything that, you know, we couldn't live without. So, but anyways, that's all been done now. We're now going to start going down through the applied energistics too. Now we've done some of this already when we are finishing out or when we're working in chapter 2. So some of this has been done. So what I've done here in this kind of idea here, and I don't know if it's going to be this sequence or whatever sequence we're going to do it in, but here's the list of stuff that I would like to get made today in this episode. And you'll see I've done a little bit of prep work. I've gone ahead and made some quartz glass. I've got the iron plates, went ahead and gathered up a lot of wool, made a lot of pistons, and made a lot of quartz fiber. So we got that. In addition, I did go ahead and throw a bunch of quartz up here to make silicone. So we should be in a pretty good spot for being able to get through all of this stuff. Now, in addition, there are several items here that we had made as part of the first, you know, the intro, the first steps that we took into applied energistics. And I think we've got to do like AE2. Yeah, like that, right? And I want to do that and see if there's any. Yeah, there we go. There's a charger, which I don't think we're going to need that charger, but I just want to double check and see if there's anything else that is AE2-ish here in our inventory. No, it looks like we got it all. Excellent. Clear that out. And I have not figured out where we're going to put this at yet. I don't have an exact, you know, hey, this is where it's going to live. So we're going to utilize as much space as we can here and probably use this area over here since we have power already. Probably end up using this area. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. In fact, let's go ahead and the inscribers. Go ahead and drop an inscriber down there. Does that connect? It does. Let's put that one there. Let's put that one there. Cool. That gives us 3 inscribers to get started. The reason we need the inscribers is because we are going to have to make each one of these presses, right? So we need to make the inscriber calculation press. So we're going to need charged Certus quartz or Certus quartz and skystone dust. And we got skystone dust in spades. We'll grab, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 of those. And let's grab, actually just going to grab a stack of the quartz. All right, we already got the iron plates on us. That's good. Let's take a look at the next item. We'll need that plus diamonds. So you know what? It looks like we may end up needing more than what I thought. So we'll grab that. And we got the iron plates. Now let's grab some diamonds and then gold. And then finally, we're going to need the silicon, which that's what we made up over here. Now let's grab a stack of it. All right, let's head back over here to these machines here. So one of the things you'll notice is most of these items all require the exact same thing as far as the first component. And then you just need to do the second component. So I'm just going to put that in there. And I'll put that in, not the piston. I'll put that there. And let's do the Certus quartz. You can see the activity here on the side. Boom. Inscriber calculation press. Let's do the diamond one. Here we go. There's the engineer press and then the gold. Boom. That one's done. So there's the first 3. And the last one was the silicone. I'll put that in there. Very good. I'm going to clear that off, clear that off, clear that off, and clear that off. All right, so back inside, I'm going to go ahead and make the wrench while we're here. Just do that. And there we go. That takes care of the wrench. And we're going to go ahead as we're going along here. Let's go ahead and collect our rewards. Really 5 XP levels for that? So I'm going to do something here. I'm going to go ahead and take all of this XP. So that gives it 128 levels of XP. I didn't realize that. I thought that was just going to be, you know, like 5 XP. I didn't realize it was gonna be 5 levels. If you have levels, you want to have as much XP in your bar down here as you possibly can. Okay. And the reason being is that, you know, a level of XP at XP when you're already at like a 1 isn't that great. But one level of XP when you're at 100 or 200 is a lot of XP. So I'm going to go ahead and move that over so that whenever we see these that say you're getting a level of XP, see, that's just 10 XP. That's not a whole lot. But levels, when it says levels, yeah, that's definitely something you want to do. Wow. Okay. All right. So we've got our presses. Now we can come in and we can put, we can pop that in like that. Okay. And this is the calculation press. So let's look here at the calculation one. So there you go. There's our, oh, we need to make the printed calculation circuits. Yeah, that's what we need to make. So we're going to put a stack of those in there. And yeah, we're going to do a stack at a time on these because we're going to end up using quite a few of these. So let's grab 2 more stacks. Let's throw up the inscriber one. Oh, the inscriber one requires the diamond. Let's grab a stack of diamonds. There we go. And then we're going to be doing the logic press. And we need gold for that one. And then for the last one, the silicone press, we're going to throw the silicone up there. And that's going to make the printed silicone circuits. Cool. How's this doing? We got 20 of those. Not bad. You know, and this would be a good opportunity here to demonstrate. Can we get this to, can we not time in a bottle these? I guess we can. Can we time in a bottle this? Yes, we can. Okay. I just want to make sure time in a bottle was working. So it doesn't look like we can time in a bottle AE2 stuff anymore. That's a shame. Okay, there we go. We've got the printed calculation circuits, engineering circuits, the logic circuit, and the printed silicone. So now we just have to assemble these. Looks like we need redstone, redstone, and redstone. Get these all done. So let's grab some redstone. Here we go. 1 stack of redstone. Later. And we'll pop this up. I'm going to pop this one out for just a moment. And let's take a look again. So everything's going to need at least one of these. And then we're going to need one of those. And then redstone will always be there in the center. So I can go ahead and drop all those in right there. So there's one of those. And then we do the next one. Very nice. And then finally that last one there. There we go. So that's going to give us the 3 chips. All right. We're going to have to make a lot more of those. Like I said, we're just going to run through just, you know, as we need. Because we're going to get a couple of, really hoping we'd get some more circuits. Oh, we didn't. All right, so we cleared that off, and that off. All right, let's start getting into making our ME terminals. So we know we're going to need 1 logic press for that. We're going to need 2 logic presses for that. We're going to need 3 of the logic presses for that. So let's go 1, 2, 3. There's 2, and there is 3. All right, I think I got everything I need now. We can come back in here. And I do see we're going to need some fluix dust, which we don't have a whole lot of fluix dust or fluix crystals. How are we supposed to be getting those? Am I not doing something right? Let's double check. Fluix. Okay, we can do this using world transformation. That's not too hard to do. It looks like there's also with advanced AE, you can use power to combine the charged Certus quartz, redstone, and the nether quartz. And that's really not too bad there. Half a bucket. And I saw also there is, not that one, it is crystal assembler from extended AE. That's going to use 4 of each to get 8, where this one's using 16 of each in power. I don't see a power mechanic listed here, just water. How hard is this thing to make? That doesn't look too bad. I think for now, do I still have an area over here set up for water? I do, right there. Cool. Let's just grab a stack of that, a stack of the charged Certus, a stack of redstone. Make sure our magnet is turned off. I'm going to fly. Makes it easier that way. And now we can do the whole... I probably need to stand back here just a little bit to do this. Yeah, not quite. There we go. That gives us that. That'll give us enough for now. All right, what were we doing that for? That was for making the formation cores. So give me a stack of that. I'm gonna go throw that out over here. I should have everything now. Let's go ahead and make the formation core, and let's make the annihilation core. Here we go. There's the annihilation core. And the only thing else we're missing is the illuminated panel. This is where we need the quartz glass, 2 pieces of glowstone, and a piece of redstone. Okay, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to put that up there for now. I just need one more spot here. Let's get 2. 1 and 1. Oh, and a piece of iron. Not the nether quartz. All right, illuminated panel. Here we go. Now we can assemble this, right? There we go. All right, ME terminal's done. Crafting terminal. We're just going to need the ME terminal and a crafting table. Do I have any more? Not yet. Go crafting terminal. There we go. Check out our rewards on those. Awesome. All right, to make the sky stone, what are we going to need to do here? Sky stone is blah, 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 blah. Easy for you to say. Give us that and throw both those in there. Cool, cool. They give us everything we need for that. We need 4 flux crystals. Boom, boom, and boom. There we go. All right, we can get rid of that one now, and now start looking at the ME drive. So we're gonna need 2 more engineering processors. Let's go make those. And since now we need to start making, we're gonna need some cabling for this. And my inventory is getting a little full. I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just do that real quick. Just kind of free up some space on my inventory. And let's start getting into making the cabling. So we're gonna need to make the quartz fiber cable. I'm gonna get enough to do 4. That gives us a total of 16. There we go. We need that. We're going to need to convert some of that over to the ME covered cable. And I'm just going to do let's do it all. Let's do it all. Here we go. And then with redstone and glowstone, we can then turn that over into the smart cable. No, I got to do the, yeah, I want to do this one. We're only going to do half. There we go. And then if we make this, that is the dense cable, and then we can turn it into smart cable also. Awesome. We take those rewards, and that gives us that reward. Awesome. And smart cable, we can take that reward. Cool. What does this say? Forward on channels. Okay, we can just do that one. We know about channels. Cool. So that gives us pretty much everything down through this area. Let's go ahead and put this stuff back away. That free me up a little bit of space? Not really. Not really. All right, so we're going to need to make a little more of the this stuff here, the Fluix ME crystal. So I need 2 more of those, and we need 4 iron ingots. There's our ME drive. Oh yeah. All right, ME drives, they're going to fall back here. Let's put that in right there. All right. And then we have the ME controller, this thing right here. So I'm going to, for now, I'm going to put it right there. We'll end up rearranging once we get, everything up and going. We do need power going to this thing. And do I have any flux points left? I do. Put that in the wrong spot. There we go, right there. Turn that on, and we're going to sort our network. And there we go. AE2 is up and running, and we're providing power, at least right now, to the drive. Okay, doesn't give us a whole lot of functionality there yet, but we're getting ready to. All right, let's clear the AE drive off. Now we need to create our storage cell, and we are going to go with, which one do we want to make? The one, nah, we want to make for these here. Boom, 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 boom. Now let's just keep working down to this list. So we're going to need a logic processor for each step that we do. So let's go ahead and get a bunch of logic processors going. There we go. We'll let those just go. While that's going, we're going to need the storage bus. Let's go ahead and take a look at those. So that's going to be multiple ME interfaces. All right, so we got enough to make our first ME interface. We just need 4 iron. There's our first ME interface. And then we're going to turn that into a storage bus. All right, so maybe we're talking about, you know, being able to hook these things up. So if I hook that up right there, and let's use this smart cable for now. And I hook that up into there. We need a terminal. Make another terminal here. Oh, we have a crafting terminal. It's right there. Now I can put the crafting terminal right there. Hey, there we go. So now we have the, we can see everything that's in our inventory system, including, see, like, since we're using the compacting drawers, we can use these items to craft, but we can do it, you know, using either the nuggets or the ingot or the block, depending on what it's asking for. So right now, that's everything that's in this wall right here is now available to our AE2 system. Cool. I think that's cool. So like if we need to craft something now, like this is, say, for example, we want to make this, right? I can click that and it's going to pull the items from not only from my inventory, but it's also going to pull the items from up here in the terminal to give me what I need right there. See? So I just was able to grab that. Cool. So let's do this and let's do that. And we can do return items on the crafting grid to network storage. Yeah, let's do it like that. And then can we do, there, I can do it that way. So I've got 2, I got 3. We're just going to start with 3 for right now. And then I'm going to say, hey, return these items back to the inventory system. Cool. All right, so we made the 1K. And what can we do with this? We can turn it into a 1K ME drive or storage cell. And that 1K drive will store 63. It can have up to 63 different types of items, but a total inventory of 1,024. So, you know, you could have 1,024 individual items of one type, or you could have, you know, 63 of 63 items. You know, you can't have more than 1,024. So as you put items in there, that the number of bytes goes down, and it's 1-to-1. So, you know, this pattern right here has 9 different items, or has 9 items. So that would be 9 bits, but it's also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types. So this recipe is 5 types, 9 bits is what you're looking at there. So 9 types or 9 bits, 5 types, what you're looking at there. All right. I want to go to this one. This one's going to give me a 4K, which that 4K would then give us 4,096. Still 63 types, but 4,096. So it holds 4 times as much. Okay. But we can upgrade that again. We can go up to a 16K. So we're going to be going through, I need to make, so for each one of these 4Ks, we're going to need 3 of the 1K. So I want to do this, quite a few of these actually. So let's just take a step back and say we got 3 for each one of those. So 3 times 3 would be 9. That gets to 16. Times 3 would be 27. And times 3 again would be 27, 60, 71, 81. 81 that we need to make. That's a lot. All right, let's probably won't get that high, but let's go ahead and see what we can get made. We'll do that. I'm gonna grab these, put those there, and just boom, it gives us 49. Get started off with. Cool. Let's go to the next one. So this we're going to need the calculation. Calculation. All right, and there we go. 16 of the calculation processors. I've been doing some maths. Yep, Shino has had his calculator out, his fingers, his toes. He's been doing all that, and I think I got this right. So we're going to need to make one of these, right? So I'm going to use our handy dandy little connection here, and this is the storage cell. No, we don't need the 1K one, right? No, we don't need the 1K one. We're okay. Let's just keep going this way. Let's just keep going this way. So we've already made the 1K, right? So let's get rid of that off our list. And now we're making the 4K. So I'm going to shift right click, and we're going to need all of these put in there like that. Yep. And we're going to need pretty much all of that put in. And we're going to need all that put in. And that should give us the 16 of those. So we'll do that. Okay, we can return all that back. And now we need to go. That's the 4K. Now we're going to the 16K. And that's going to require more calculation processors. So yeah, let me go make some more of those. All right, I'm going to go ahead and swap those out. Get those going. Yeah, we're going to let that go for just, I may not need a whole lot of those. You know what? I think what I'll do is I'm going to stop right there. Put that back in. Let's go ahead and do the rest of those printed logic ones. We'll throw some more of those up there too. I know we're going to need several of those, so we'll go ahead and start making as many as we can right now. Just give us everything we need. Let's find out if we got it all. I'm going to take this to here, do that. And we'll do 16K, and we're going to want to make several of these if we can. Let's do that. Let's do that. And there's only so many of those we can do, but we'll do that right there. There we go. That gives us 5 of those. And then we should be able to do this. And yeah, we can only make 1 of those. So that's our limit right there for as far as the resources we've got manufactured right now. We're still got more of these, working in the background, but that'll get us there for now, right? So let's look at the usage on that one, and we want to make this one right here. Move that over and that. Cool. Now there is one of these that we need, this one right here. So let's go ahead and make that too. And we'll do A and A and A, and then the matter condenser. We're going to go ahead and make this matter condenser as well. And get it out of the way. So there's that. And then the ME interface. To do that, we're going to need to make 2 more of those. And man, this crafting is so much faster now. We did this way. Sweet. All right, we got a 1K. We got it. We got 2 different drives here. So I'm going to take this drive. I'm going to drop it in like that and like that. So we've got 2 drives in there now. And the drives are really cool because now we have items that we can't put, we don't have a spot for in the inventory, right? So I can now click that piston, and I can put that piston, okay? And then I can look at piston, and there it is. There's those 73 pistons, and I can take them back out. Those pistons aren't here. They're not in this. They're actually on the drive. And if I take a peek at, let's see, open it up. There you go. You can see the pistons. It says I got 522 bytes. Oh, that's actually pretty big. I thought it was only 1-to-1, but no, that says 522 bytes, but it's one of 63 types. So I've got, 62 more spots there that I can put stuff on it. So now all this stuff I have in my inventory, I can throw this all up into here. And if it has a spot in the storage bus, then it will go into its location. True. All right. So if I take, let's take, 2 stacks of that. All right. Now I want something that we can see better, a number on it. But here, these right here, right? We got 64 and I got 2. So if I just click those and come back over and look, you can see it's 66. So any item I put into here, if it has a spot on the network, it's going to go there first. And it is dependent upon, how I set up the properties here. So there are a set of properties that allows you to do the input, output. If you want to set it just to go one direction, you can. You can partition, which means it's going to take a peek at everything that's here and say, yep, that's, memorize it. Or you can say, hey, let's clear those configurations. You can set the priority here. And this is important when you start dealing with multiple storage areas. There's going to be instances where we want items to, store here first. And there's instances where we may want things to store in the mob farm first. So we want to make sure that we've got those set, properly that way. Cool. So let's, I'm excited now. I really am. So let's take a look at, storage bus, right? Because we've got other items that we're going to need to make. So can I make one of these just in inventory? Yeah, I can. See, I can just do that right there and then return it. And then I can say, hey, give me this and do that. And there we got another storage bus. Can we make another one? Yeah, we can. There we go. Now we've got 2 storage buses, which works out pretty good because we've got, multiple items here that we need to connect to. Now we're going to do some cable management. We don't want our cables, flowing all through this area. So let me type in here cable, and we got 2 more of the Fluix Smart cable, and we have 2 more of the dense cable. So can we make more of the dense cable? Do that. Do that. Got 2 more of those. We need quite a bit more of that. Let's see. Recipe like that. If I recall, I think it's in like multiples of 4, right? Yeah. Here we go. And then we're going to turn that into smart cable. It gives us 6 more. Let's do this. I'm going to pop that off of there. I'm going to pop this one off of here, pop that off of there, and give me an X. All right, so I'm going to just to kind of give myself a spot to aim for here. We'll do that. Same thing here. Here we go. Now, I don't have enough cable for this. I know. Let's go ahead and get some this going here. So we can put that. Oops, here we go. You know what I need to do first? I just thought about this. I need to turn you off for a second. I think what I would like to do is I would like to have this moved, and I want that ME controller to be way down there. Not way down there, but you know what I mean? I want it to be down below this area. So I'm going to come down here, and we're going to do that. And then I'm going to put the flex plug. Then, yeah, we'll just put it right off the bottom there. Here we go. All right. So we've got 2 different types of cable. We've got the dense cable and we've got the smart cable. We can use both for this process. And typically what I'll do is I'll end up having, like this, right? And I'll have it go out to one direction and then it can branch off from there. Each one of these can have 32 channels, which means basically, you're extending it out to say, hey, let's run, different channels off that way and that way. So that's cool. So I'm going to now take one of these other storage doohickeys and go like that. And then we're going to hook up the cable here like that. So we should now have one channel. Yeah, one channel and one channel there. Cool. And we can do the same thing coming out across this way. We're going to need another storage bus there. And then we'll need more cable. Cool. Let's go make some more cable. And of course, I forgot I already took my cables off from here. So, yeah. Let's get a couple of cables. And then we can put the crafting table on. There we go. Because all my inventory stuff was in here, right? I need those Fluix cables right there. And we're going to need some wool, right? And we're going to turn that into, that. And then we can grab this from here. So that's no big deal there and there. There we go. Good amount of smart cables there. Okay, there's one. That one's hooked up. This is the dense cable. I don't want to have dense cable on this. I'd rather have the normal smart cable. At least, to that point, we'll come out with dense cable, here for now. There's that. And then put that back on. All right, so we got one channel going that way, one channel going that way, and 0 channels going this way. Why do we not have any channels going this way? We didn't connect. One channel. Cool. Very nice. I'm going to put that right there. We're going to take this one and we're going to put it right there. And then I'm going to move that out of the way and that out of the way. And we're going to put that right there and back in they go. And they still retain their items. Cool. We now have every item in our inventory system that's over here is now accessible right through there. And we have a crafting grid set up and ready to go. That is going to make crafting a lot easier. That's our first bit of automation that we can do now. So, now as I'm thinking about these items that we need to do, for example, let's look at the cable again. So if I needed more cable, did I use it all or is something wrong here? Piston? Nope. Piston's there. So that's good. Yeah, piston's showing up. So I don't have any cables left here. Okay. So I can do the Fluix cable and I can hit that right there and I can take out, a bunch of that cable there. Go ahead and grab 32. Right. I can put that back. And then, hey, what do we want to do with that? Well, we want to turn it into the covered. We can just do that and boom, there's 32 of the covered. And I want to put all that, let's put all that back into there, right? And then I want to turn that into the smart cable. We'll do that. And there we go. Now we got our smart cable. Wasn't that so much faster? That was so much faster the way we've been doing it. But we're not done yet. There's still a lot of automation stuff that we need to get done through AE2. So I'm going to go ahead and collect these rewards. All right, so I'm going to get rid of that crafting table. I am going to put it, though, in my bag. Oh, I already had one in my bag. All right, I've got 2 in there now. No big deal. Yeah, I want to do that. Oh, I'm getting some stuff here. There's spider seeds. And looks like melon slices are going overboard. So let's take care of that. I don't think we're going to need to have a, where's it at? Right there. Don't think we need to worry about having that, extra there. And then the spider seeds right there. As a reward, I guess I said it didn't get anything good. We did get some, what is it, slime essence? Yeah, we got our turtle. We got a turtle seed. We got a spider seed. And then we got these 2 over here, Knight's Metal and Enderium. The Enderium, though, I don't think there's any uses for. Yeah, there's no uses for the Enderium yet. So we'll have it for whenever that comes into play later on. We'll definitely have that available. Cool. I need to, so I do need to I need to automate that for getting more and more of those. We're doing the world, what do you call it? This stuff here, right? Do that and that and that. Yeah. So I need to automate this so that, we can get this done, on demand whenever we need it. Cool. And we need to automate these inscribers also. So that, as we need these processors, it'll go ahead and make them. I've gone ahead and thrown in, so we got an extra 64 of each. I think what I might do is take those all out and then I can do another stack between episodes, just so we can kind of keep that going. We're going to need quite a bit of these. You can see we're going to need a lot of them for making the disk drives. And as we make more and more of the different items here, we're going to need to create quite a bit of those. So I think it probably behooves us to go ahead and keep an extra stack of these always going, right? So I'm going to throw you into there. This is the inscriber. That is the diamond. That's the quartz. And this is the gold. All right. Yeah. So I think between episodes, what I'm going to work on is wiring using AE2. So I'm going to make a bunch of cables. And I'm going to start running cables underneath the base here. I'm going to start running cables underneath here in all these different directions so that we have a place to kind of grab onto. And then we can also, a lot of this stuff, we're moving stuff like this, or we're going to be able to start moving it using AE2. So we'll be able to start moving a lot of the pipe stuff out of the way as well. Yeah, so next episode, we're going to be working on AE2 automation, connecting a lot of these outlying processes all together to our AE2 network and automating, hopefully, some of the processing to kind of speed things along. All right, folks. Hey, thanks for spending time with me. This is Shino, and we will see you in the next video. Take care.